a lot of people in the industry is unhappy with the Tory Lanez situation. They want the verdict looked into immediately. A lot of people is not happy with the fact that he went down before Christmas Day. Bobby Smurder ended up talking about it and sort of exposing the labels. He said he's scared to even talk because he feels like they're going to lock him up. Like if he starts talking or rapping about different stuff, they're going to lock him up. Spoke about the informant rappers and how he don't even want to be a rapper. He don't want to be associated with that rapper name because of the things that go into it and what it's turned out to be, what they're making out a rapper to be now. Like, it's crazy. So he spoke about the informant rappers and stuff that talk about these different things, and these people are there, planted there to make you talk about unsolved situations and talk about other people, helping them create these indictments. They've messed up the music now. They've messed up everything because they've made it to where they can't talk about the old stories. They can't talk about the old stories and everything now because they can get wrapped up into something and end up going down. This all plays a part in the joint operation that is currently going down amongst different cities to combat street gangs and gangs of the media, where they are giving out these different indictments. That's why they said a lot more indictments will be coming out. There's an operation going down. It's estimated that there is over 50,000 gangs or people that are in gangs that is currently operating right now, and that's why a lot more indictments will be coming out, because this is the idea that they've come up with to clean up their mess, they have created from back in the day when it comes to the failure of housing projects and the different deals that they signed back then because of the economic crash that happened that led to no jobs and stuff, and the discrimination in the workplace, and people couldn't get jobs and everything. That's how it all started. They didn't want to put the money into building these different houses and stuff that would not fail. They didn't want to invest the money into these project plans. Instead, they put a bunch of people together in poverty that then led to people being born into the life of crime and forced into the lifestyle. That's what happened. They realized that it was failing back in the day. What did they do? They break it down and they build another one and try to make it sustainable and stuff, not make it too tall because the lifts didn't work and it couldn't stand the winter. And the things that would take place inside these buildings, like amount of crazy things that used to happen back then. Now they're trying to clean up the mess that they've created. It's a whole system. It's everything. It's something else. Take what they have created and put them inside, and like they said to Tory Lanez, like one of them said in the courthouse, Tory Lanez don't belong to you now. He works for us. He belongs to the state. Megan Thee Stallion case, it was taken up by the state. Megan protected Tory Lanez from day one. The audio of Tory talking to Kelsey, apologizing to Kelsey, has been dropped. She kept saying Megan's team is on it. And some people also saying it sounds like a confession. When it comes to Young Thug, the reason why they want Young Thug is because they're saying he's the head of the gang, and that's how they're going to be doing it. The people that have taken orders and carried out different acts and things, they don't want them kind of people. They want the head. That's why they're making it easy for them, because they want the people that are giving out the orders. They're going to take someone in position with money as well, the head of these gangs, you know, certain gangs that you see in the media, and Young Thug, and then the part the label's playing it now. What Bobby Smurder is talking about. And Bobby Smurder was a sacrifice by the labels from time ago. The labels left him in there. He got into that situation with Rowdy Rebel, him and Rowdy Rebel and stuff, and the labels left him in there. They left him. They didn't get him out on bail. And they didn't get him out on bail under his contract. They didn't front the money to get him out. They left him in there. He ended up doing his time. Then they still had him on the contract. The reason why they didn't front the money to get him out is because they didn't want to get caught up. They didn't want to get caught up in these indictments. Then when they all end up getting locked up and go down and everything, the labels back out. They want nothing to do with it. Then still keep them on the contract. And now when they get into the trouble, that's how they end up shelving you and stuff. A lot of things go on. So after Tory Lanez's dad went off calling out the wicked system, he accused Rock Nation of trading souls. Like, this is crazy, saying that, oh, they're gonna blame Rock Nation for everything because he's blaming Rock Nation for what Tory Lanez did, even though he's speaking like this because there is no evidence. A lot of people know the evidence is just pointing to Kelsey.
PD's office, in the LAPD's office, Tell me how there's no fingerprints. My God Almighty, I call heaven and earth to be a record today. That Rock Nation, you will crumble. I am an apostle of God.
That's right.
And you will know who I am.
That's right. Say that, man. Come on, man. I feel that, bro. Real talk.
The truth about this case is they dragged it out. They dragged it like they dragged it. They botched the storylines, all of it, they dragged it. What's going to happen is now we're going to really hear Tory Lanez side of it. They're going to keep putting out this different stuff and try to get an appeal and everything. And 40,000 people signed this petition, all this stuff, right? So they're going to do a lot now. So it's still going to be there. Whole 2 years for just like nothing to get to the ending of it, and the truth didn't even come out. So FBG Duck, the FBG Duck episode, MEMO600 and 50 Cent. So the FBG Duck episode aired with Hip Hop Homicides, and in this episode they tried to get down to the bottom of two questions. One, does the internet and the fans fuel the beef? And two, was the song that FBG Duck made the cause of the situation? They tried to get down to the bottom of these two questions. They spoke with Mama Duck, and she spoke about, you know, how it was back in the day with FBG Duck and stuff, raising FBG Duck. Mama Duck ended up taking them to the scene, you know, the high fashion place in Chicago. Like, how did that just happen? It just seems unreal. When they spoke to Ruger, they ended up asking him about the dissonance stuff, and they really went into how it all kind of started. They said that Little Duck made a song where he talked about smoking Tuka in one line. Then that's when Wooski ended up responding with computer murders, and then King Von ended up doing Crazy Story. And then that's when Slide came in and King Von came back with Exposing Me. FBG Duck and Ruger responded. Then FBG Duck ended up dropping DB. So when they spoke to Ruger now, they spoke about that record, and then Ruger said like it didn't come from them. They didn't start it. But then after a while, when it keeps happening and stuff, like they just end up responding. The entertainment side of things and how the fans come into play and stuff. And Ruger basically said that when you put out them kind of stuff and you're known for doing that, it's like you have to keep the fans interested in stuff, and that's why they kept on doing it, because at that point it becomes entertainment. So that's what was going on, people being entertained by it. And then they spoke about being rewarded by the industry, the labels, and how they reward these artists, and they started rewarding them for this type of behavior. They were rewarding them, they were giving them deals, doing all these big deals with them and stuff, and basically putting money behind the words and behind the dissing to keep dissing and keep doing the dissing and stuff. And that's what was happening. That's what was going down. Putting money behind the stuff, and this was going on from way back then. Like, this is something that they do, another thing that they do in the industry for the promo and different things. And you know, like, they see certain opportunities stuff when it comes to, you know, the opportunities of these people possibly taking at the other side, like what happened when it comes to MuWop and Kenny Mac and C Murder and Lost Money and all of them going down and doing what they did to FBG. That when it comes to all of that, that's what they put down the money behind, hoping that, you know, like, it will continue. They know exactly the consequences of the stuff. They know the consequences of the diss, and now they're trying to ask you, oh, was it about the dissing? When they know way back then, back in the day, the dissing ended up taking out Biggie Small and Tupac. But they sit up here with 50 cents and all of them, and sit up here asking you about the music, asking about these different questions that they're already seeing consequences to in the past. This is something else. That's what I'm telling you. And then another thing is, certain points I was looking at the documentary and I felt like they didn't know what they were speaking about. They didn't know what they were speaking about. And that's how we have this Memo situation right. I was confused, especially did that picture block out the picture that I meant to be seeing. I don't know if it was Kenny Mac at the start. I was like, what is going on? Like, it was just crazy. It was actually crazy. Like, they didn't know what they were talking about and stuff. And then that was just disappointing. So they went and they spoke to Tad Loaf from Content Creating from Scotland, Wales, one of them places. You know, the cases that he's investigated and everything, and they said, you know, he made a living off of this and stuff, and he looked into about 30 different cases. And the thing about with these 30 different cases, we are talking about at least 30 plus dead people. They this is what's going on, this is why it's so crazy and stuff, because like none of us can't believe this stuff, all these different things that's taking place, and it's all on the social media. See, like, it's definitely some sort of experiment. It just can't be no other way. Then they spoke to the people behind Chiracology and Riddick and the page and everything. The people, I mean, on there, they had to hide their faces and stuff, and they were all like quiet and everything. It was just crazy. It was crazy. I was like, wow, this is something else. Like, wow, this is something. And then what they talk about in the comments and all the information different people have given in the comments, it's very interesting. But then I felt like the main problem that was left out, that was just left out, it being promoted by the big machines and these different platforms that are allowing this type of stuff to be promoted, to be there for you to see this kind of stuff and people down on camera and everything. And that was somehow ignored, like how it's being promoted and pushed by the industry, by the media and everything, by the labels. Like, they've basically tried to make it about the people that talk about it and expose the situation and expose the things that's going on. They tried to make it about them making a career off of it instead of the people in the industry and the platforms and Meta and all this stuff. These people that are promoting this kind of stuff for their promotional use. It's being promoted and shown to us, and we are talking about it and exposing it. We are talking about it and exposing it. That's what's very interesting to me. It doesn't make sense. Then we went into one of the community activists, kind of spoke to him for a bit and everything, seeing how, like, you know, he knew like all the boys and stuff and every single one of them, and it's like, it's so sad to see them go and everything, like, you know, they're not hearing anything, but like, used to talk to a lot of them and was close with a lot of them and stuff, and trying to change the community and stop like what's really going on. Even in the start, they played a clip with King Von where he's saying like, it's not going to stop until everyone is gone. It's not going to stop until everyone is gone. It's so crazy because it hit knowing that they're both not hearing everything we all see it play out. I wish they did touch a bit more on the labels and stuff, rewarding these different things and putting money behind it. And then you have like the fans as well getting into the artist's head in particular and stuff. And then that's when you have the informant stuff coming out and the informant rappers and everything being born and stuff. Like, it's something else. It is crazy. That's when these things come in. Then they went into MuWop, and then when it comes to the update with MuWop and Kenny Mac, Lost Mona, C Murder, the trial will begin on October 2023. The trial will begin in late fall, and they are saying that it's going to take a long time because of all the evidence. Remember all the evidence they said they had and everything, like, you know, they said they have CCTV stuff that they need to look into, 40 plus disk drives in the car with Lost Money and everything, renting the car and stuff, you know, that bit right there. And then they have more footage to look into just when it comes to different areas and stuff, so they have a lot of stuff to comb through and get like different evidence on them. So they have lyrics from them as well, you know, the lyrics from them of them talking about the situation. The lyrics is going to be looked into and stuff and everything and used. So that's something else. The MuWop and them update, like, they're just saying, well, the trial is going to start soon. We've seen MuWop on his birthday. We've seen MuWop over the phone calls and everything. We've seen him and stuff. And sometimes go to bed, he's growing out his hair. We just seen this stuff played out one by one. Like, we're just seeing it all playing out. And then when it comes to the joint operations that's going on amongst different cities now, he's coming up with these RICO indictments to combat street gangs and gangs of the media and everything. It's going to be a lot more Young Thug situations, because what they are going to try to do now is, and that's why they say a lot of the labels is like, you know, they don't want to really front money for bail and stuff like in the Bobby Smurder situation, because if the judge decides, then they could actually look at these labels for fronting money, look into them to see if they're fronting money for murders and different things, and tie the labels into the indictments, into the conspiracy case. That's why the labels now are very careful before they front money or before they decide to like get themselves in a situation. they would just leave the artists to stay inside there because they don't want their label being investigated. So that's how they avoid it, so they can't front any money or anything and have any traces going back to. Like I told you guys before, if you follow the money, you get the labels. Follow the money and you get the labels. Follow the money and you get the labels. Now you're hearing the other side. That's why the labels is not trying to get involved. That's why the labels is not trying to get caught up in these conspiracies, because they know they can be investigated too. They can all go down and be shut down. They can be shut down as well. They can all be shut down. So that's what's going on. I feel like the FBG Duck episode, I feel like it was good, but they did kind of rush it. There wasn't nothing really in there that we all didn't already know when it comes to the case. MEMO600. MEMO600 said he's going to be suing 50 Cent because of the producers. They mistaken while they were talking about the people who got locked up for FBG Duck situation. So when you're looking at it now, and that's the part where I was genuinely confused. That's the part where I was genuinely confused, because I was looking and I was like, wait, that's MEMO600. So what's going on here? And I was like, wow, they actually probably tried to pin it on MEMO and stuff. They tried to set up MEMO600. They tried to set up MEMO600. And that's what happened. Like, there's no way a mistake could have been made like that when they're talking about the exposing me, because they said, oh, he was in the exposing me video. One of the people, Kenny Mac, I think they were talking about, was in the exposing me video. But then they showed MEMO, and then they showed this picture right here. And MEMO is crazy. MEMO is like, wow, you know, you talked about the clout chase, and he said 50 Cent and them is cloud chasing, and that could be somewhat true, because it feels like they didn't know what they was talking about. They did not know what they was talking about. They didn't give us anything new. They didn't give us anything. That they didn't really give us too much of an update apart from what we already know when it comes to the case and everything. That they didn't really make any calls or anything to see if they could even get some sort of live update like they've done in all these other cases and stuff. It is something else. So MEMO600 is not happy about that. That is kind of where they've done this already before, but to this extent where they've put someone else knowing that that's going to be like worldwide and go crazy and everyone's going to watch it and everything, that is interesting. It probably could go deep. It's like a mistake like that don't just happen. You don't just make mistakes like that when it comes to these kind of things. They said it's going to take a time for them to comb through all the different evidence, basically to get evidence on MuWop and them, so they can make us believe that MuWop and them is the ones that did it. Mama Duck screaming justice for FBG Duck and FBG Brick. So this is another thing as well. The FBG Brick now, it looks like FBG Brick is wrapped up in this case as well, because they are claiming one of them that's locked up did FBG Brick back in the day. So that's what they're saying. Why FBG Brick and the justice for FBG Brick now is about and everything, because the people who they arrested for the FBG Duck case, they played a part in FBG Brick situation. So that's another thing that is crazy. Mama Duck is also tired of the narratives being spun. She is tired of people saying all this stuff when it comes to his location was dropped. First they said it was FBG Cash. That's what the situation. Now they're saying he was streaming his own location. She is tired of all the narratives being spun. FBG Duck was streaming his own location. And then she said, a matter of fact, MuWop and them is not going to see the light of day for what they done. They are not going to see the light of day for what they done. As soon as they got into the industry, this stuff happened. They need to take all the labels and stuff, and the labels need to be looked into. The labels need to be looked into. Let's talk a bit about Little Durk. People's been asking for him and stuff, you know, because he went into hiding and stuff after him and India broke up and all of it. So people's been asking for him. After the King Von episode dropped, weirdly enough, people started saying Little Durk need a documentary to show like how the come up was. Then he ended up posting a couple pictures hinting that he was in an accident. He wrote in the caption, he said, any day can be your last. And I mean, looking at the pictures close, this picture right here, that was probably the last picture before the situation happened. It's still unclear. A lot of people is unsure where exactly it happened and what happened. He hasn't talked about it. He don't come on live anymore and stuff. He put one King Von song in the album. Then he ended up selling 25k. They're talking about it, and DJ Academics is saying this is because they moved labels and stuff, and it's all label. He's not with them anymore. He's with the new label Empire now. He's putting out everything with Empire. What is going on? So basically what is going on in the India war and all of it, like he's going through it at this, going through it behind the scenes. That's what's going on. And then you have The other girl who came out saying that, you know, she had a kid from and stuff, she's been doing videos talking about the Smirks and the Little Duck fans, calling her ugly, all the stuff. She's been doing all these videos. This is the video of her going off the other day. They're still in her DMs humiliating her because of Little Duck's actions.
I really be confused, like, y'all hate me so much, be in my DMs, oh, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, but then y'all follow me. Why do you follow me? If you don't like me, unfollow me, so then you'll never see me. But y'all don't like me, follow me, and then get mad at me because I'm on your page, but you followed me. Make it make sense.
Exactly. This is another thing, like I've been telling you guys, while they was outside on roads with the guys outside, King Von and them, he was inside having a bunch of kids with all these different women right in front of our eyes, and we are talking about it. We are talking about it. Oh, we are talking about it. Oh, this is what they've been doing to her. This is what's been going on. That's why he hasn't been coming out. That's why he's itchy hiding and stuff. That's why he's been hiding, because he's trying to get back with India, and she's giving him a hard time. That's what's going on. And he's saying, oh, be prepared when he come back and all of it. Be prepared. He put out a tweet the other day and stuff, because they're talking about the album and everything and how the numbers, some people say it needed more King Von on the album. He needed to put more King Von songs.